You got any clothes that fit, or?
No, I borrowed it from Gage's closet.
So you went to the skinny section. I do have oversized section.
He does. This is true. He has a very oversized section.
Man, I guess I went to his girlfriend's section. Got his pants from his girlfriend pants. Isn't there a brand that had that? Like they named it like girlfriend pants.
Boyfriend jeans.
Yeah, something like that. Boyfriend jeans.
You know, it's funny. Every time I wear those
girl
jeans. Every time I wear those jeans, I don't end up with a boyfriend, and it pisses me off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think I end up as the boyfriend.
Well, there's reasons. I mean, you don't want all the pockets.
I don't know. Your pattern clearly is pick men.
Tell me what my pattern is, Gage. Please tell me. Do tell. What is
maybe they look good. Maybe you're shallow. Are you shallow? Do you just like handsome guys and you don't give a fuck the way they take care of themselves?
Honestly.
The way they work?
What is your type?
I feel like one of your exes worked at 7-Eleven at one point.
That's crazy, actually. But I did date a lot of bums, so you're not too far off.
Well, that's what I'm going off of what you said.
Well, here's what happens.
You said you don't wear the pants in any of your relationships, and you don't get taken care. Or you wear it, and you don't get taken care of.
No, yeah, but that's like a pastime.
They don't like provide. Yeah.
What if you worked at Chili's? Because
we're gonna learn.
Fire. I mean, I haven't been, but I see the commercials.
Enticing.
Were you his little onion ring?
Who? Who's he?
Hypothetical fake ex that worked at Chili's.
Ooh. He was my little onion ring.
Spreading the mozzarella.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Open Dome podcast. I'm your host, Sela.
I'm Gage, guys.
Hold on, we're getting there. We have a very special guest today. Today we have Alex Padron.
Yeah, but then
Alejandro.
What? What did I do?
I'm going to sing a Lady Gaga song.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I just did. Yeah.
If you don't know Alex, you can find him on Instagram, TikTok. What else you got?
That's it. I try to do YouTube.
You can go stalk this beast of a...
Built like a brick house.
It's giving ape warrior king.
With great tattoos.
Golden retriever mix. X-Men and...
Golden retriever energy. Got it.
No,
I'm the golden retriever.
Husky
so.
pup.
Untamed husky?
Baby husky. We brought you on to the Open Dome podcast. Actually, no, we didn't. You invited yourself.
Yeah, it's kind of like anal. You just kind of force yourself.
Oh my god, that's gonna get a.
Yeah, you know, Alex. I mean, Alejandro.
Oh damn, legal name came out.
Alejandro.
Yeah, I mean.
So what do you do?
I'm just a guy, you know. I work out.
It's just a chill guy.
And I'm a professional bodybuilder. And
okay.
Yeah.
You got a card?
I do got a card.
Which one?
IFBB.
Fuck.
Did my pro debut about 4 weeks ago.
Nice.
Got top 5. Now we got to work for the next show and get the Olympia qualification.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's sick. Question, or not even a question, because Sela said that like you invited yourself.
No, he fully did.
However, when it's a project like this and we want people to come together, I think it's really awesome that there are people that want to come on to the show.
Correct.
Oh, 1,000%. I was thinking about this all day,
and those are the kinds of people that I would like want just to continue to keep it. I mean, just the energy in it. It's a lot. Or it's easy when like you and I are back and forth 1, 2, 3.
Sometimes.
But when there's somebody else that wants, yeah, well, you're a lot of the time. But if there's a third person now, he's not scared to jump in and out.
I think the thing was you guys mentioned community, right? And if we're talking about community, is making sure that everybody's inclusive, and whether or not you are inviting somebody on or somebody just asked to get on, that's an opportunity to continue growing that same community.
1,000%. That's what the Open Dome podcast is all about. I think it's a beautiful space where open-minded individuals can come together and freely express all of who they are. And I think that's something that not a lot of people feel comfortable enough to do. And I would hope that every single person that ends up on this podcast feels that way. And, they can sit on the same freaking couch and...
Now you're saying just for this podcast, but life in general, like people don't necessarily put 100% of themselves into
Absolutely.
one thing.
Absolutely. There's so much that happens to us along our life journeys, and that being said, I think it hardens us over time, and a lot of people are so concerned about what other people think and what other people feel. Am I saying the right thing? Am I saying the wrong thing? Is it safe to share this sense of humor of mine?
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing about coming into being your more authentic self, right? Like I said, we all have our social medias, however many platforms. And then we have this persona that we show people. But then are you able to be your true self while you're showing this persona on social media? Or are you hiding behind a wall of this is who I am here, but really in person with my friends or even at home, who are you?
Yeah.
And that's what we tend to hide with social media. We put this character on, hey, this is Alex on social media, the bodybuilder, the tattoo guy, but behind closed door, who is that person?
Yeah, how small is Alex behind closed doors?
Dude, I think we all have our demons, and one thing I try to portray is be more of myself on social media as much as I can, because if I hide being like, oh, I'm this buff dude that has no emotion, like real deep, like I sit down, I was just telling her earlier, I journal my thoughts out, you know, I put them in a book and express them when I can't really put them out there, and sometimes that comes into my caption, that comes into my post, and you know, a lot of people can relate to that, and that's how I feel like for me, that's how I build my own community of people and the people that follow me and how I'm able to connect with them.
You know what, I will say that's one thing I have noticed about you and I really appreciate about you is how expressive you are.
And
not just through social
supportive.
media.
And supportive. He's always in there in a group chat supporting everybody.
But you know what? I can tell that that's something that you would want people to do for you.
Correct.
And I feel like we often, that's how we display ourselves the most is, you know, the people we show up as. Typically, it's the same version of a person that we would hope would do the same for us.
Yep.
And you know, when you're like, get me on the podcast, I was like, down. But not only do I appreciate your levels of spontaneity and just being so fucking down for it, I also was so stoked because I remember the first time I met you, you walked in the tattoo shop and you were the first one there, you know what I mean? And I'm all alone in that shop waiting for everyone to show up that day, and your energy just filled the space immediately, and I knew right off the bat, the first thing I could tell about you was this dude's got a great sense of humor. Yeah. I'm like, I need him here. I need him on this podcast because that's a huge part about why I've opened up this space. And that's kind of evolving in its own way at the same time. But I genuinely want this space to be not just a space where we can open up deep conversations and topics and perspectives and really explore those things from so many different points of views, but also I want this to be a space where we get into a deep conversation and then half a minute later we're cracking all sorts of jokes, you know, and the humor comes out, and it's just a flavorful experience, and it's full-bodied and well-rounded. And
he knows a lot about flavor. He's got that flavor saver, baby.
It just stays there a little bit longer than usual. You know, the piggyback off.
No, not the top.
Not the top, the bottom one?
It's this. Yeah, that's
that
your flavor saver.
You know,
culture.
If I piggyback off what you were saying, you know, like about the type of energy that we give is what we're expecting in return. It's something that I really had to learn to understand, because I was always giving so much energy to everything, you know, and support, and then I wanted that back. And when I didn't get it in return, like I just felt like I was being used.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's trying to understand, it's like, you know, some things is like, you know, even though I give this energy, I now that I've learned like how to really understand what I was doing, is like nothing that we do, like this podcast or tattooing, like showing support to what people do doesn't hurt you in return. Because everybody should be able to win. Like there's so much room for everybody to win. So like when I give, is like I'm just doing it for myself, and if I get anything in return, like I do, and if I don't, it is what it is.
Yeah, the biggest way to explain that is like you can't do something, support someone, love someone, do something for them, and expect them to do the same for you. So like you genuinely have to do it because it fills your cup, and then if you get it in return, it's like, well, fuck yeah, that's cool. Yeah. But I think that's like people who do so much for others, and then they get all down and beat up and sad because, you know, nobody's there or doing things for them. It's like you can't expect them to love and to care the same way you do. Yeah, you can only hope.
That would
you can only
mess
hope
me up for so long, because like I would see like they said whatever I was doing, whether it was a show or anything, I'll see their girlfriends show up and their parents show up, and I was like, man, like, why does nobody show up for me like that?
Damn.
Like, why isn't my mom
Real.
here? Why isn't like
Real.
my best friend here right now? And you know, once I realized, it's like, hey, like, if they wanted to be there, they'll be there, like 100%. Like my girl, she, you know, she had work and she took the time off to fly with me to Puerto Rico and be there and be supportive. But you know, this past year, and you know, he's on the Hustle Club as well. Rob and Chris, you know, I didn't ask for them to be supportive and show up to shows. I didn't ask them to help me with my posing or motivate me, but they were just there, and they're not my coaches.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Oh, you're working with Chris?" I'm like, "No, but like, hey, he's a great person. Like, if you want to work with him, hit him up." And it's just like that alone, just that's what really started driving me. Like, yo, like if people want to be there, they'll be there.
Yeah.
That's really cool. You know, it makes me think about a lot of my life experience growing up. Definitely involved, you know, I think I was taught in a weird, or maybe through observation, I learned at a young age that it was important to be happy for other people when they accomplished something or when they were doing something they loved or whatever. And, you know, whenever I was experiencing something positive in my life, for as long as I can remember, I never got that in return. It never felt like people could be happy for me. And if they were, it never necessarily felt real.
It was envy.
And I think that's a big part of it, you know? And for me, I think that's what taught me how to be somebody. I guess taught me how to understand that, you know, being happy for other people doesn't hurt. You know, showing up, supporting them in whichever way you can. Sometimes you can't always be there physically, you know. Sometimes life happens. Sometimes you can't always give. Sometimes you don't even have a full cup to give to other people to support. But even sometimes it's simple things, like even on social media, you know, just like liking, commenting, reposting, you know, when you see it, like stuff like that. I think all of those things matter more than people want to admit.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of the society we live in today. So
Well,
you got to play the game a little
What's
bit.
crazy about it, right? Let's talk about like people sharing their friends' stuff. Let's say someone's a plumber. Like the person sharing it, if their identity does not revolve around plumbing, they're like, I'm not putting this on my story, right? So if somebody, like, for instance, you, like you're weightlifting, there's some crazy weightlifting thing, there's somebody's going to see that and be like, this is cool, maybe like it, but they won't share it because their story is their identity. Whereas if you strip down everything, you get to something like this podcast, and it's just consciousness, it's us, it's community.
So how would you differentiate?
Differentiate.
Differentiate.
You can say it with an accent if you need to.
My English is my second language.
Differentiate.
Differentiate. ESL.
Essentially, like what? Because this happened to me today, and no offense to the person that sent this to me, but it's more so like we have the community of people that you know we're friends with, right?
Yep.
And the one thing that we've learned the hard way is that strangers will support you before your friends do.
1,000%.
But to what extent is it that, you know, like I share all your stuff. When I just started following you, sorry.
Did you just wink at him?
So he's kind of a liar. Did I wink at him?
But I do like your stuff. I've seen some stuff, and you know, they're nice.
I've put it in the chat, you know.
But when is the stranger that's reaching out to you and is like, hey, share this, where you don't have that connection, are you still going to go ahead and go share that as well? Because I'm assuming they're reaching out in regards to the fact of your engagement.
I mean, I'm talking. I haven't had like a stranger just say, "Hey, share this," right? But like for example, like I'll post a real estate video, right? I'll get like 10 likes and 2 shares, and one's my mom and one's my real estate account, right? But then I'll post something with my daughter, and it's 100 some plus 200 some likes. It's just like, it depends what people gravitate to. It is what they like or what they'll put on their story, because it's an identity thing rather than it being a support thing for someone else.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's
Not trying to talk shit, but that's just what it is.
I'm going around, like, for example, you're obviously on your page. So yeah, you're a realtor, you have your family. So if somebody goes and reaches out, hey, I do floors. Can you post this on your story? But they're not in your, I guess, your community. They follow you. You have had one conversation.
if I don't know the person and that's what they said, it would have to be based off of the quality of work and what they do, because I have people who do flooring.
Let me add on to this.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes I don't think it's that serious. You know, if you don't know people personally, or you're not connected to them in some way, shape, or form, that's not necessarily your role to play, right? And, you know, I look at it like that because there's a time and a place for everything. Why are you laughing right now?
I have a great rebuttal to this.
A rebuttal?
A rebuttal.
Okay. We'll get there.
Maybe. She pivots.
I do pivot. But, you know, there's a time and a place for everything. And again, you know, if this is actually some stranger on the internet, like going out of their way to ask people to, hey, reshare this, support this, again, time and a place for it. If you feel, this is why I feel like, let's get deep for a second, having a good connection to your own intuitive basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feel into that. If you feel that you should share it and show support, then do it. But if you don't feel connected to that, then you don't have to.
I agree.
And it's not that serious. And, you know, if we ever end up with somebody here who feels that, I'm not saying you, don't worry. No. But if there, you know, if somebody ever comes along and genuinely gets offended by somebody not doing that for them, I think that goes into a whole different topic, because
and it's like
these things are small.
I don't want to go that,
but a lot of these small things make an impact. But again, it's not everybody's role to play to show that support at certain times.
Like,
yes.
So, you know, I don't think it's a rebuttal, but it's more so on what you're saying. I agree, but there's people out there that, let's say, hey, I followed you, never followed me back, and for them, they want you to follow you back because it gives them that like satisfaction, like, hey, this person's following you. But it's like, you don't want to follow because there's nothing for.
Absolutely.
You know,
I need to have some form of link between you and I to actually follow each other, and not just like bump in and say, hey, what's up, and then never see you again.
Correct. And it's one of those things like, people are sensitive about it. And it's the same thing when it comes to like, I just watched a video on this today, and it's about blocking people.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Like, instead of blocking people, you know, right? Because people go, it's like, oh, you deleted me off of Instagram or like whatever. Mm-hmm. It's called airplane mode. And it's like, you don't block them, you just mute them. And it's like, you know, because now you have more control of what, you know, you want to see, without having to put so much energy into like, well, I blocked you, and that's going to open a door to a conversation that you don't want to have.
I'm really glad you bring this up, because this definitely segues into something a lot deeper, which is essentially, you know, in my opinion, this is you taking into consideration what I'm paying attention to every day. Yeah. The input that I'm receiving every day, what I am focused on every day, is affecting me regardless of how much I care about it or not. So you're being intentional about what you choose to pay attention to, and that is so fucking important, especially with somebody in your position. Yeah. You know, you have a lot of followers. You have a lot of people looking up to you. You have a lot of people watching you every day. But how do you show up 100% as the person you are if you're not taking, or I guess you're not putting yourself on manual mode, right? Correct. And a lot of people are on autopilot. A lot of people aren't taking into consideration what they're paying attention to, what they're feeding their minds, you know, even down to the music you listen to, the conversations you're having with people. If you're letting people call you on the phone all the time, I'm calling you out a little bit, Gage, because you're such a big-hearted, loving, beautiful fucking human. But hear me
I don't
right?
wake up. I happened to wake up one time, and it was just...
I'm just giving you shit.
But
no, I've been there, right? I've been
shit
there.
happens when you party naked.
Myself. But I think that's the substance right there.
And I think that's, you know, to add to that breaks into today's generation of social media, right? Like, we're so exposed to so much, desensitized by so much, because it's so easy for us to grasp it, right? So, like, if we're following, like, I follow a lot of, like, news accounts, but, like, I had to start muting them because there was so much that was coming into my feed that I didn't want to see, because then it was changing my mood for the rest of the day.
100%.
And it's like, okay, now I mute them, and now if I want to see something, I'll go and look for it. But it's not popping up like it needs to be.
Yeah.
You know, and that's into everyday life, like how how are you going to walk throughout your day? How's your energy? You know, how are you going to approach people? How's that conversation going to go when you're like having a one-on-one? Mm-hmm. And it's being able to know when to mute and then when to allow things to come in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge. That's so important.
So let's take it a little step kind of deeper, but this should be a layup for you, right? You know, you're on your phone. You want to make sure that you're, you know, seeing things that you want to see, don't want to see. You're preparing for a day, whether it's show day or like, you know, your favorite day at the gym, for the chest, whatever. Like, what do you do during the day that sets you up for a great workout or a great show? Like what puts you in that place?
It's the truth is motivation does not exist. Like I know this is probably gonna be one of the hardest things to understand, but it's like
sit up straight when you say this because I believe that.
Look, motivation.
I want some passion behind this.
Look, motivation does not exist because they say your motivation is this physique. You know, I'm gonna put my boy Chiron on the stage right now. Craziest physique on the stage right now, men's physique. Let's say you get to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm good. This is not motivating me anymore. Then what's the next thing you're going to chase? You're constantly chasing this next motivation thing that eventually you're going to be like, this is not going to hype me up anymore.
Yep.
So you have to find that within yourself to get up. Like, you know, I've had a hard week, you know, with work and balancing both, you know, bodybuilding and work. But then it's like, do I go to work and be like, oh, man, like, I didn't hit the gym today. I'm tired from last night. Like, shoot, yeah, I'm tired, but I got to get it done.
Discipline.
Like, I have to get it done. Because then if I don't get it done, my boy Chiron is already 2 steps ahead.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, it's one of those things, like, you have to find out within yourself to want to get that thing done, whatever that may be. Like, if you want to go on a walk, get up and go on that walk. Because if you lay down in your bed for another 5 minutes and you're like, oh, I'm going to go, let me snooze. How many times are you going to snooze until you're like, I can't go on this walk no more?
Yeah.
And you do that. You know, you give yourself excuses to not do something because you know you want to do it, but you just want it to, like, happen. You procrastinate.
Yeah.
And you can't procrastinate in life as much as we want to.
Yeah. I had something to say, but I lost it, so I'm, like, letting it soak in a little bit longer.
You're good.
Yeah, I'll feed her in. It's like, for example, she just had a client that paid her $10K to do a tattoo.
That'd be nice.
Right? And this tattoo, he wants it done in 3 days.
It manifests that shit.
And he has this design,
My wrist's going to fall off right now, so.
To do that design, she's not going to sleep in and not work on this piece. Even if she's
Debatable.
tired. She might sleep in, actually.
She goes, you don't know me.
But the thing is to say you had back-to-back clients every single day, and you have this piece that you know has to get done.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get up and get it done because you're getting paid $10,000, and the dude wants it done in 3 days.
Well, and let me add on to this, you know, the one thing that stands out to me about everything you just said is, you know, I'd be getting paid $10,000. Now hear me out. You know, there's a fine level of incentive to that statement.
Correct.
And I do feel like at the end of the day, you know, we are dopamine chasing creatures of habit. And
Next shiny thing.
Yeah,
you
same.
know, I have experienced quite prolonged, you know, periods of time where I have not had distractions or not had things to chase, so to speak. You know, I wasn't going out of my way to do A, B, and C to stay out of my head or this and that. And that's not related to the incentive part, but that's related to the dopamine part. And it makes you realize how much we feed ourselves with that. That's where a lot of our motivation comes from. That's where a lot of, I think, just the drive that we have in life, or at least this is what I've learned through my experiences, a lot of that ambition is fed by dopamine. So
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Well, just the drive, like most people usually will not go through or follow through unless there is some sort of incentive.
100%.
Rather than just loving what it is, the topic, or what he does.
And that's exactly it. That's the nail on the head, is finding that passion in what you do is kind of a crazy thing to think about because it's not that easy. I don't think
tattooing is easy at all.
Well, let me tell you. Let me get really vulnerable, right?
Yeah, are you dropping the bomb that I got like the other night?
Oh, I'm not dropping that bomb.
Oh,
No.
right.
We're not. We're still processing. But
Yeah.
Hear me out, right? I do a lot of shit.
We make
I
secrets.
do a lot of things that I'm passionate about. Tattooing's my job.
Yep.
I love it. I love what I do. But there's a lot of other things that I love too. Back to the incentive part.
Worry about
10K
yourself.
for 10K for a project like that. That's a nice incentive right there. That's a dopamine hit. You know what I mean? And I'd be chasing that shit. I'd be on top of that shit. But a lot of times we fall into other moments in our life, whether it's work related or a hobby or something we're just doing just to do it. We don't always get that kind of incentive or that kind of dopamine hit. So it is harder.
So let's say for you and what you do, right? You're tattooing because it's your job. It's
because it's your job.
That's what you just said. That.
Yep.
Let's say it's a piece that's not. It's hey, you're doing this, but it's for free. Mm-hmm. But this person's like, hey, I guarantee you that you'll get this traction.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel like that teeters away from the dopamine hit, the incentive a little bit, but now that's going to reflect a lot more based on your levels of devotion towards yourself, or
it's just prioritization.
Well,
honestly, at that point,
like
if you're going to do a free piece, but you're going to get a lot of eyes on it from this person's social media,
or maybe you will, maybe you
right?
won't. It's kind of taking a risk, right?
Well, exactly. So it's risk reward. You have to start kind of triaging your priorities of these tattoos versus your figure skating, the gym versus the time to do this. That is a 50-50 shot.
It's there's a lot I could get into about that, but I guess what you were saying, right? It's, let's say you have that opportunity to do something for almost nothing in return, and you're not going to get the instant gratification out of it.
Correct.
But you also have a choice. It's like asking yourself, can I see the long-term benefit of doing it this way? And I think when you can see that long-term benefit and act in that direction, that's when you do reap the benefits. But unfortunately, or maybe not unfortunately, it's just most of us want instant gratification.
Correct.
So that's harder to do.
So to add to the motivational,
but that's where you gain respect, in my opinion.
Yes.
That's where respect is gained. Is you're doing the hard stuff behind the scenes. Nobody's gonna see that necessarily right away, or even if they do, you're probably not gonna feel the reward very quickly.
Especially in weightlifting. I mean, you don't see the...
No, it takes 21 days to have a habit, right? But, to finish off that instant gratification, right? It's that motivation that, you're saying, how do I find the motivation? It's like we can feed ourselves a million negative thoughts. Why you shouldn't do this, why I shouldn't go right now. And, we're overthinking negative thoughts, da-da-da-da. But if it's that easy to overthink negative thoughts, imagine how much better everything you do would be if you overthought positive thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's, people don't realize that the negative and the positive are the same weight.
Correct.
So you really do have that choice every single day.
Every day. I mean, it's like...
But that's a practice. Yeah. That's not, you don't just wake up one day, I feel great today, and then it's just gonna stick.
Yeah,
you gotta put that into practice. You gotta make that a routine, a ritual, like a part of you every single moment you get that opportunity.
It's a fake it till you make it. I've had people come to me and they're like, I'm just not happy. Like, how are you always so happy? And like,
fake it correctly.
I agree.
Well, it's just like at some point, right? You don't want to go to the gym. Oh, all right, I'm gonna go, and you keep going, and you learn. It becomes natural. So like with being happy, right? It's something that like. You have to put yourself in that place until it's natural.
It's like real estate, It's like when you're talking to
Here we go.
When you're talking to somebody, you're like, hey man, like they really love the house. They're like so happy about the house, and they're gonna get approved. But then they go, you hate this line. Ready?
He knows nothing.
I gotta talk to my wife.
Oh, that shit's funny. It's
like, bro, your wife is gonna like this house. You want
there
this
we go.
house.
We got the salesman in there.
So if I know the person, like I'm physically with them or I know them, I respect it all the way. I'm not the realtor at all to push anything on anybody because I'm not the one that looks at them in the mirror at night. However, when I do cold calls and they're like, yeah, this is good, but let me talk to my wife, I literally say, well, what is it that she's going to say that would change your mind? And they're like, So I do say that, but cold call when I don't know the person at all.
No, it's people have an excuse for everything because they're afraid. I think fear exists more than the faith and hope that everything will work out.
What do you think they're most afraid of? Typically.
Change.
Oof.
Change to the structure.
And you know what's funny about that to me is
their wife sometimes.
That part.
I think change is, think about it, it's like we get complacent. That's the thing. We get complacent in our day-to-day schedule that, hey, I wake up at this time, I go drink my water this time, I use the restroom at this time, I'm here at this place at this time, I have my 6 Starbucks at this time. And then the moment anything outside of that could potentially be better for you, it's like, oh, it's not part of my schedule.
Can I bounce off that? Part of me feels like it's not actually the change people are afraid of. It's the unfamiliar. Because in my experience, and this is my experience, I find that change is actually really enticing. It's really beautiful when you start getting excited about it, yes. Right? And I think what's so beautiful about it is you're going into change without expectations because you can't have expectations because you know nothing. Yep. It's like traveling to a new country for the first time. And it's like typically when somebody gets excited about traveling to a new country, they're excited because they're like, I'm going to see things I've never seen before and do things I've never done before and meet people I've never met before. Mm-hmm. And you're having this brand new experience without expectations.
Well, and it strips down the ego, the need of like, oh, I'm so good or bet. Like you're actually like at this point, now you're the one that's like, ooh, and when you're doing things that you're familiar and accustomed to, like at the gym, like he's Big Daddy Papa right here, right? Whoa. But you throw him somewhere in a country where he doesn't speak the language, he can't be this.
You're like small again.
But you know what's crazy? Like, I know people that do this, is that they'll travel and go to a different country, but yet still do the same thing they're doing here. So instead of trying, let's go to Italy, right? We go to Italy. You eat
beautiful. I've been. I'll take.
Italy. You go to the regular spots instead of going to like.
Damn, that's interesting to think about. Huh?
Okay,
those people that.
I'm not offended. Not offended. But
I do go to McDonald's in different countries, though.
Dude,
I swear to God, they have
probably
better.
That's literally McDonald's Italy or Italy McDonald's, however you want to call it.
Italiano McDonald's.
McPasta.
It is. It is some of the best. Like it's like gourmet, not gourmet, but it's like going to a regular restaurant.
Dude,
McDonald's is like that in every other country, anyways. But in Italy,
I had a ham and cheese sandwich at McDonald's in Puerto Rico just because it was like the bread that they use in Puerto Rico.
Yes, the bread's always different. Like
so I was like, damn, this is a bum ass ham and cheese.
Yeah, no, yep.
I'm a full video.
Yep. So now that we just like. Totally. So they do things that they usually do here, yes, but minus the McDonald's.
Correct. It's just that it's like there's a fear in trying new things when you go somewhere else that's different than what you're accustomed to. Like you want to travel. Like for me, traveling is like I want to explore the food. Like I won't like it probably. Like if I go to Paris, I want to have a snail. I probably won't like it.
Specifically a snail.
Yeah, a little thing. Put some sauce
on it. Embody.
Croissant, not croissant. So what flipped the switch for you? I feel like you shared earlier like you were like this, and then obviously right now you're sharing.
I just flipped a switch.
Yeah, I was 15, dropped out, right? So there's a lot of struggle there, and you're making the Mike Tyson theory. So like, for you to be who you are today, what flipped that switch? Let's go deep.
Okay.
Yeah, 15-year-old you drop out of high school.
Here's the thing, right? If I had to condense that question and make this a tangible answer, it wasn't one thing that flipped anything for me. That wasn't even, when I was that age, I was enrolled in online school for a couple years, and by the time I was 17, I hadn't done any of it. I would leave my laptop open, dude, and just like look up the answers and take the quizzes and whatever. And it's such a blur now, but it's like I wasn't doing school. Like I wasn't in school. I was just enrolled in school, so I was never truant. Okay. And by the time I was 17, you know, this was a choice of my own I'm going to try to go get my high school diploma. So I went and took a California high school proficiency exam, which is like the next step down from getting a GED. And I failed that shit twice. I aced the English part without studying, which I felt great about, but I kept failing the math. And that shit wrecked me. I was pissed off more than anything because it felt like I was being fucked with. Like it felt like they were fucking with it. It's like, what, just because like I can't understand this means I'm a failure? Like those were my first thoughts around that age, you know? It was from school. And even when I was in public school, my first semester of high school, that's the only amount of public high school I was ever in. I definitely didn't fit in. I was extremely depressed. Like I would go home after school every day. I would sleep my life away. I never felt like a failure. I genuinely, for the blur that it is, thinking back on it now, I was miserable. I was miserable most of my life. And even leading up into my early 20s, there were so many parts of me that were still miserable. And it took me years to find those things. But I can honestly say today, it's not one thing that made me who I am today. It's a combination of bumper to bumper pain and having to learn things the hard way and failing and raising myself ever since I was really young. And then also, you know, even getting into my early 20s, I was a, you know, hyper independent, hyper vigilant young adult. You know, I always thought those were things people were like, you're such an old soul, you know, you're so ahead of the game. And then you hit your early 20s and everything is a failure because nobody taught you how to be an adult. Correct. And that, you know, up until just 2 years ago, and I'll be 28 in December. So there's that.
Oh, younger
baby,
I guess.
Little baby.
But I feel like I've lived a lot of life, you know, and the only reason I'm anything that I am today is because I had a choice to make more than once. It was, do I want to be miserable or do I want to find a way to not be miserable?
Yep.
And that's it.
So I'll say this because I'm going to break you down, sorry.
Please.
But obviously the system from 15 to 17, 18 told you were a failure. You told yourself you weren't a failure. Mm-hmm. Today, myself and Gabe over here can tell you that we're proud of you, of you know what you have accomplished yourself now. But there's the one thing that I know you haven't done. I can feel that 100%.
Tell me.
Ooh.
If you could tell yourself, the old self, not that you are today, but the one that's hurting, the one that's feeling the pain that it was, because I don't think you've taken the time to address her. What would you say to her so you can let this go? To be and continue doing what you're doing.
Can I ask you a question?
Are you insinuating that she hasn't let it go?
I'm not saying that she hasn't let it go.
Well, I can tell you this. Let me be so vulnerable, so transparent. Yeah. There are things that I'm still working on now.
I know.
Very unrelated to that. Those are things I've accepted a long time ago. But there are parts of me now that are struggling with different things. Mm-hmm. A lot of that is, like, there's a part of me right now, I'll be totally transparent about this. I've never received love the way I've ever given it. And it kills me inside because I feel like I'm getting older. And so deeply sometimes, dude, I just want to be held. Like, there's not, like, that shit'll make me cry if I think about it too long, right?
That's what I can see. So I'm saying, like, to a person that, you know, because I had
it's so simple. It's so small, but it's like, for me, that's the biggest thing on the spectrum because it's like, I thought about this morning even. This is something that I'm currently going through. And I'm not afraid to share that because that's my life. That's my story. That's my experience, you know? And I know I'm doing really well in my personal life. And I've done really well in my personal life. I've been able to find confidence in ways that not a lot of people, not a lot of women are able to find. That's crazy. Not just confidence, but be able to learn how to fill my cup over and over and over again through everything from my own childhood trauma to my anxious attachment issues to, you know, keep coming back to myself, keep filling my cup back up, you know, to be able to feel fulfillment in myself and then in my life. and then to lose what it feels like to feel fulfillment in my life, but still feel that fulfillment in myself. And then you start to feel these weird things as you get older, like, well, I have so much life that I've lived. I want to share that with somebody.
Yeah.
I do. But you can't just go looking for it. And I think you have to attract it. And I have a lot of interesting patterns that have shown up in my life. Like, if you guys want the real deep shit,
But
Are you crying?
no, I'm just,
Okay.
probably dry or something.
Okay.
But I got whatever I gave you.
So, well, hey, so
Wait, no,
hold on. But with what you're saying, right? You want to share that with someone. But what? Because for me, this is something I had to learn out, and I'll gladly share this if you want to ask the question. What is that love that you can give to yourself? That statement that because you're still trying to find love with yourself, right? So, in a way, maybe I'm wrong.
Sometimes I think,
where does that struggle, and where can you give to yourself? Like, hey.
well, see, that's a question. I think, like everything else, I really do believe, like, everything comes down to something being a practice. Yeah. It's not just something you find and it's there, dude. Because I have found it, and then it's changed, and then you find it again. For me, it's always coming back home to yourself. Correct. When those moments get hard. Yeah. Because it's not every day I feel that way, and I couldn't be more grateful. I get to share myself and my life with so many people, not myself, but you know what I mean? Like, I get to share so much that I've lived with other people, even doing this. It's a beautiful thing. I couldn't be more grateful.
In hopes of, you share for others to hear in hopes of.
It's not in hopes of anything. It's quite literally just, this is a beautiful aspect of life. And where it goes, that's not up to me.
Yeah, but it's the people listening, you would think, like,
well,
you hope that it resonates, so then maybe it helps them.
Yes. To your point, absolutely. Like, I would only hope that it reaches the people it's meant to, and it, helps them shift something within themselves, whether they're currently struggling with it or they're, it's something that they haven't been able to articulate before. That's really important to me. So it is a beautiful thing that I get to experience that.
You have a very interesting story. Like, obviously, I'm asking.
Oh, I have stories on stories on stories.
More so, obviously, for your podcast. I mean, there's women out there that are going through so many different things, and obviously, like, there's two different worlds. And I hate to split it, but there's the female world and the male world, right? In the female world, there's a lot of more support. Not necessarily that every female will support each other, but they're more open to having these conversations if it's there.
So good. This is so good. I have so much.
And maybe you don't have those options to be supportive, right? But there's people like you that have gone through this, had and learned and unlearned and how to heal and how to coordinate and move around and do all these certain things to get to where you are today, right? So being able to be open with on here too. I mean, I feel like that's already an inspiration to whoever may be watching this.
Thank you. No, that means a lot, and I would only hope so. Yeah. There's probably a point where it wasn't as easy to share these things, but I do find something fascinating about, I think when you really integrate something in your life, like a lesson or something that's challenging for you, and you accept it, once you reach that point of acceptance, it is easy to share, or at least easier. It's, when I share these things, there's really not a part of me that's like, I don't know if I should share this. I genuinely feel so comfortable sharing these things because I understand that, like, everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody. We are all connected to that. And, you might not experience it the same way, but there's probably an energy there that you have felt.
Correct.
And
that's why I was like, really related to
the way I like to explain this exact situation is, like, there's a song, right? And it's a super sad, depressing song, but it tells the story of them being sad, and the whole song's sad. But how did that person who wrote the song, how are they capable of painting the whole picture for you? Because they overcame it and then were willing and able to share it.
I'm going to share that song with you guys that I mentioned earlier from Sam Tompkins. Because once you hear it, you'll be like, damn, like, Alex is not like this on social media at all.
Well, some may even hear it and be like, damn, you feel that way about yourself? But no, you have victory over maybe how you felt with that song. I don't even know what it is. That's just how.
It was just, again, like, I'm very open on my social media, and I'm open to talk about anything. Like, if you guys can break me down and make me cry for all you want, if you want to do that right now. But, I wanted to fit in. Like, I wanted to fit in every single freaking group. I was in every sport. I wanted to fit in with the jocks, but I didn't. I wanted to fit in with the goth kids, but I didn't. I wanted cool, popular kids, but I didn't. And the one thing that was just me is just going to the gym. So there was no judgment in the gym besides myself, and then trying to be a better version of myself every single day. And then I tied that to, well, if I'm better today, I can probably join that group.
Interesting.
And I never got into those groups. Like, I didn't get invited to a single, I mean, believe me or not, you know, like, never got invited to a single party in high school. Zero. Like, 0. You know, I wasn't no popular kid. Like, I knew everybody because I was jumping around from every circle trying to talk to everybody like I do now. But even, and you know what's crazy? I think once I got into the nightlife industry here, there was a sense of importance. It was like, Alex is at this club. Hey, Alex. Yo, I heard this DJ's playing. Can you get me in here? Hey,
What
Alex,
they can get from you.
You got these tickets for Snails. Can you come in here? Like, and you know, that gave me a gratification for a very long time until I realized it's like, yo, I'm being used. Like, nobody's like truly here for me.
Yeah.
And you know, I backed away from it and just focused on me, focused on the gym. And it's funny, like, you know, I've known Josh since 2nd grade, actually.
No shit.
And Colton since middle school, Quaid since middle school, all the guys on you know, Hustle Club. And, you know, I had my relationships with them, but we weren't as close as we are now. And that wasn't until later in life where, like, those things didn't matter anymore. It's like life started happening. You know, Quaid has kids, or, you know, Josh was his business, Colton was his business. We all started growing up and realized what is more important. And it's that community aspect of being there for people, that, you know, truly being there for people. Because nobody wants to do that because they're afraid. It's like, well, if I support you on your tattoo journey and you make $1 million, now you're this famous tattoo artist and you're never going to look at me again. If I buy this $1 million house from you and da-da-da-da, it's like, now you're never going to look at me again because I'm just this guy that bought the $1 million house. Well, this guy's
We're always looking for what it's going to do for us.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like, if you flip it, right, it's like, you know what, like, eventually, like, if you just let that stop, you know, expecting this reality, is trying to fit in and just be you, you know, you start learning that it's like, man, what have I really failed at learning to understand within myself? And there's just so many things I didn't understand with me. Like, I didn't know how big of an empath I was, like how much having conversation about a certain topic is going to affect the rest of my day. How much, like, if I give this much thought into this, how much that's going to affect me. Or if I let people come in and fully open up and I'm open, how much I take that in, and then the rest of my week is like, yo, like, I'm sitting here like, da-da-da-da, like,
Yeah.
there's so much, you know, it's like, we have to learn. We have to learn to keep a balance and how to, again, mute and, you know, let certain things in, not let other things out.
It's like people hitting you up for tickets. You're like, I'm being used. Like, there's certain things that you as a person can give to somebody where they can just take, and it doesn't matter because, like, that fills your own cup.
Correct.
But using you for tickets, like, it's like, it's different. Like, I bet you if you had a friend, one of your close friend, you guys hang out all the time, but they call you and they, you know, and you talk all the time, they have shit going on. Like, they come to you with all their bad shit, always. And you're always the one helping them. As long as they're providing, maybe filling your cup in another way, you will always allow them to use you in that way to help. It's just balance.
But then it's like, okay, like, I think my biggest struggle is me being that guy that's there for everybody, emotionally, whatever it is. And then when it's their turn, there's nobody answers the call.
So
I have said this.
We talked about
I don't
this
know how many times I've
on
experienced that.
the podcast we haven't released yet.
Yeah. It's deep. And you know what's crazy is the amount of times I've heard people say that and the amount of times I've said that about myself. It really, there's so many of us that are experiencing the exact same feeling. And it makes you wonder, it's like, if I'm going through this and that person's going through this, what's the middle ground? Like, what's the solution that actually brings that into a higher space, right? And, you know, if you think about it, I'm thinking about this in real time, it kind of makes me think that maybe maybe it's more about changing the way we narrate that about ourselves. And this is something that I would have to do for myself, right? Even when it comes to like the way I look at, you know, wanting companionship for myself. Like it makes me think about the little girl version of me that literally just wants to be held, just wants a hug. So there have been weeks where I've counted when was the last time I had a hug.
I'm the same way. I want to be the little spoon because
it's just
being the big spoon.
It's because you know it comes back to connection and how important connection is to all of us as human beings. But you know, connection and the depth in a connection can really only go as far as somebody's met themselves. So not only does that indicate that there's so much work that really goes into being able to experience that depth in yourself, but also how we experience it relating to others. Not everybody's going to be able to meet you with the same levels of depth. And that's where I've struggled a lot, is that, you know, I'm always able to give something to someone else based on, I don't want to say this like, oh, this, I've done the fucking work, but in all honesty, I've put a lot of work into myself, and I can openly and honestly say that.
Yeah.
That's not me, you know, putting pride in my, it's not, that's not an ego thing. I have done the fucking work.
You know, you should be proud within yourself.
And I am. I'm proud of it. But there's a downside to it in a weird way.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, hear me out. There's not a downside based on, like, I've done the work. There's not a downside to that. Like, that, I'm grateful for it. It's been a hard journey, but it's led me to so many beautiful opportunities and spaces and people and all the things. But the downside is that when you get to that point within yourself, in your life, and you start to reach a level of awareness and you see things for what they really are, you realize that not a lot of people are there. Yeah. And it's a lonely path. But you realize that you can know a lot of people, connect with a lot of people, love a lot of people love you, but that connection is still fairly non-existent. That connection that you're craving, that depth of a connection.
So this is where I'm going to add. Because I'm going to assume, like, I'm not saying you're a lonely person, don't talk to anybody, but I'm sure you've dated, right? Mm-hmm. Right, in this time. And this is where I'm at in my personal experience. I was this hopeless romantic, and to them, so hopeless romantic, this guy, you know, growing up. I was like, man, like, you know, how to lose a guy in 10 days, how that was, or like 51st dates, you know, you show up every single day. And then I got into a relationship, right? And it was like a very happy relationship until things started going wrong. Mm-hmm. And then those traumas that happened within that relationship shifted how I was as a partner, as a giver of anything. And ultimately later on, obviously that, you know, like after that relationship ended, and that ended 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't find who I was to give to somebody else. Like, I would date people and I'd be like, this isn't going to work out. And I was still healing in this process, right? Because you're like, people are like, oh, you have to be healed in order to be into a relationship. But no, you heal in love. You have to be willing to let people in to the hard parts of you, because then you don't know if those hard parts really still exist. Yep. And that's how you start healing correctly. And, you know, over the years, there's things that I was okay with and things I'm not okay with. But I didn't know that until I was put in those positions. I was put in every position possible in that relationship. You know, nothing against her or anything. But
Doggy?
Like,
Doggy,
yeah, I guess.
You said it.
But, you know, and, you know, I get into the next one. And that taught me, like, how to be patient, how to, like, listen and understand, you know, and I crave, like, I was like, man, I want this relationship, and I want to be loved and appreciated and supported in certain ways that, you know, was missing out of my life. Mm-hmm. That even though I could give it to myself, I just wanted, again, like, you know, be the little boy and be held. I wanted to be the little spoon. You know, I can't always be this big dude that just walks through life being big. Like, I want to be small sometimes. And, you know, not till recently, you know, I've been with my girl for a few months now, like 5, 6 months. Don't get me wrong.
Hell yeah.
But, you know, this is the first time where, like, in decades, well, not decades, a decade, 10, right? where I'm my true self. Like, I'm truly able to give how I want to give and not have the sense of like being on thin ice or having this, you know, this thought here that if I don't do this, it's like I'm like, it's, you know, there's always an ultimatum. It's like, no, like I'm genuinely me, and I had to like.
You're not scared of a reaction.
Correct. Like and it's so beautiful because it's like, you know, previously, even when I did date, you know, like, and I never got into another relationship. Mm-hmm. For 4 years, I would date, but it wouldn't be, hey, this is my girlfriend, like, hard, hey, girlfriend. It was like I was dating, and some things worked out, some things didn't work out.
Experiencing people. Yeah.
But this is the first time where I'm like, yo, like, this is my girl, and I'm me, you know. But it took so much work. Like, we had to like work through those things that we went through, the traumas, the pain, and truly understand and be able to regulate your emotions. And guys suck, dude. We suck at regulating emotions. It's either this or this, you know.
Look, I'm a fucking anomaly, bro. I'll just put that out there. I'm usually
emotional.
Well, okay, so let me.
Yeah, here.
I'm really curious.
Hot seat. Let's go.
Guys, and that's a crazy statement to say, but I do feel like I've been in like a lot of different situations, leading me to a lot of different perspectives and understandings, not only about human behavior, but about my own human behavior and how things affect certain things. And when I show up this way, that's a catalyst for this, like all sorts of shit, dude. Oh, a pattern that I've experienced more frequently, and this is fascinating in the worst way possible. People are really good at, I don't want to go into love bombing because I've been love bombed. This isn't that. It's how can you develop so much intimacy with somebody and within a moment it disappears and there's no communication. It's essentially like getting ghosted, right? But it's odd to me. So this never happened to me in my past. But more recently, and it's weird, it's around the time that I started it's around the time that I actually fully understood my own patterns. And I can confidently say, like, I'm not going to show up with the drama in the relationship. I'm not going to question your behaviors. I'm not going to beg for attention. Dog, like, I'm chilling. I'm going to communicate things. I will dissect myself. If there's something I'm doing, dude, I will find it. That's not a problem. So I'm not here to say, like, I'm a perfect girlfriend or this or that. I'm not. That's not the point I'm trying to make. But what is it that catalyzes that exact situation? What is it? From the guy.
Easy.
What?
I got the answer.
Lay it on me, dude.
I'm next.
It's the one, they haven't learned who they are. They don't know exactly who they are. So, yes.
You're calling out so many men right now. That's
crazy. So, it's true. Guys don't know who the fuck they are. They go around, you know, like they're with this girl for 5-6 months, whatever, a couple weeks, love bomb, etc. And then they got everything they got out of that, everything they wanted. They got the love, they got the whatever it is that they were looking for with it from that girl. And then it stopped. I'm not saying that it stopped to the extent of like, hey, like what you were doing, you know, wasn't enough. But what they wanted from you was at its peak. And once it's at its peak, you just don't care. You just stop. You're like, whatever. I don't have to, like, I can say, it would have been like, because it would be like, fuck, I'm sorry, guys. But it's going to be one of those where we know that we have you close enough that if I said something, you'll come right back.
See, and that's what's crazy.
I've never wanted to admit that. The amount of times people have said, they're like, they keep you on that little dangle.
We'll dangle you.
I feel like it could go both ways, and like maybe that's what I said I'm the anomaly here, because like I feel like every day is a start new, fresh, but I've been in relationships before, and like I brought up earlier, like with families, like they just expect that you're going to be there.
You're emotionally aware. I've noticed that from you.
And it's like you get to a point, like, you know how they say men drive home and they sit in their car because they don't want to go inside. And if you get to that point, I know I'm kind of flipping roles here, but if you get to that point and you are already like premeditatively like expecting or knowing how they're going to act instead of being present and you're right once you go in, like, then that person has already gotten what they needed from you, and they're not excited about what's happening right then and there.
It's a full chase. Like, do
you think it's
a gratification? It's an instant gratification of, like, you know what? I'm talking to this girl. I'm using an example. I'm talking to you, right? And everything's going good. You know, we're hanging out. We're going to movies. We're having dinner. We're so deep and intimate, and everything about what's going on between you is perfect. Mm-hmm. But then it reached a cap. You know, maybe the last cap, and I'm sorry because you're a tattoo artist.
No,
I got a tattoo from you. I got the tattoo I wanted.
All right.
All right? And that was it, you know? I played the role to this. And it was maybe I stopped.
He doesn't get deep anymore.
And it's not deep enough for me anymore. But you know what? I know if I said, hey, how are you? What are you doing? You want to go to our spot that we
like when you need it again?
When I need it again.
Oof, I hate
So that's toxic. That's toxic.
I know you're going to answer your goddamn phone and we're going to go eat. So and in your mind, you're like, nothing's going to go on beyond this eating moment. We're going to stop and nothing's going to go. But guess what we do?
So it's a real thing.
So we both drive our car and we go back to your place.
Are you saying you did that or you do that?
Sorry, guys.
Be honest.
I have done it.
Yeah.
I have done it, you know. Am I proud of it? No. But that was a point in my life where I didn't know what I was really wanting or what emotions were going, you know. Like, I wanted the satisfaction of having this person here, and I had her, and then, you know, I'll get what I want. Like, I'm going to go do me because there's no tide. I'm not your man.
So let me ask you this. What changes that for a man?
It's the switch of, you know, you realize that isn't how life is supposed to be. It's the fact that you sat down and, you know,
it's selfish.
It's selfish, and I let God in. You know, for me, I let God in.
Good.
And it was before I let God in that I've realized a lot of things that was going on. But I let Him in, and you know, everything, I let it all out. I was like, hey, this is what I've been doing, and it's not getting me anywhere. And I'm, sure, I'm getting the intimacy that I'm wanting right now. I'm getting the attention that I'm wanting right now, but it's a shortcoming right now. It's like, cool, I can have that now, but then when I go home, it's like, I'm back to being myself.
The thing is people always, they want something out of someone, whether it's like they get with you and then people have like the perception that, oh, you got the girl, and then you get what you want from the girl. It's when both parties are not worried about what they get, they're worried about what they're giving, then both parties receive.
And when you know, don't have the conversation of where it is, there's always going to be that thing. Even if you have it, let's say is your because you say communicate, so you've let everything out. But now, and this is what my fear is where
the ball's in their court.
My biggest fear is, and I've had this happen to me, is like I'm very open and communicative as well. So when I tell you things and then later on use it against me, it shuts me out.
Yeah.
Like 100% shuts me out. Mm-hmm. And you're acting, well, when before I was like, hey, I'm telling you this thing, it's like, hey, this hits me, and you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to talk to you.
See, it doesn't shut me out, but I will, like, it doesn't, if we have a full conversation about, you know, this added, like, this, something that's happening, and, like, you're so into it, I understand, you know, I'm this, and then the next chance you have the opportunity to show that conversation mattered, you don't. Now, I'm not asking for 100% change, 1% change every day, you know, but like, hey, this is what we thought of, this has happened last time, right?
And yeah, so it's you know, when we're there and we're getting what we need is one, we're not healed. The guy's not healed. He doesn't understand his emotions. He's just constantly chasing that high, that dopamine high of like the chase. Is a chase of like, you know, that girl, I know, if I feed her a little bit, she's going to come back.
And it makes me wonder, you know, how deep does that really go? Because in my experience, I have experienced people who are very mature, very intelligent, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, like, holy shit, like you've done the same level of work I've done. Mm-hmm. And they show up that way. Why are you still disappearing?
Because you haven't done the work.
Holy fuck, dude.
No,
it's so crazy. And listen, I'm saying it like this because the
Flip
amount
it on
of
its
times
ass.
I've seen this happen is just
Flip it on its ass.
Put it,
To have a conversation with you, for someone to talk with you, they need to speak your language.
Correct.
Right?
So
otherwise, you're not going to talk to them. So what do? Instead of doing work, they put up a mirror.
I love tattoos. Oh man, so this guy that I watch on Instagram in Italy did this tattoo of like you learn a person to then it sucks. You manipulate the system to work it back.
So you have to find what is truly like when it's genuinely something they know, or if it's a way for them to try to pick your lock.
Yeah, it's like it's not about having different keys. It's just about having the one key that's gonna work. And that key to making it work is knowing the fact that you know everything.
It hurts, man.
It
Hurts. It really does.
Because it's a deck of cards, right? You're playing poker or whatever. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna always show your cards right off the bat. You're not gonna be like, "Hey, this is what I got." But when a girl does it, she shows her full deck of cards, and you're like, "Damn."
Well, you know what? You know what sucks about that too, especially as the woman that I am, the person that I am. I'm not. Why not? Like,
but it has nothing to do with you.
No, and I know, but you know, it is like even just a current life.
Be specific.
Experience.
Why not? What? Like what happened?
Why not?
Why not
be
you?
my full? No. Like, why not fully be myself? Why not? Like, it's gonna happen regardless. Because it's not even like I wear my heart on my sleeve. For me,
I'm so excited to get into this.
Who I am at my core is who I am on the outside too. And I got myself to that point. That's just who I am. It doesn't take more or less out of me to fully show up.
Yep.
It doesn't take anything away from me. Let me finish.
I know.
Like, it doesn't take anything away from me to fully be me, because that's the level of work that I've done. What a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But man, let me tell you, it is fucking discouraging. To like be at the point in my life that I am right now. I'm not chasing shit. I'm not going out of my way to find that companionship that deep down that little girl inside of me wants so bad and yearns for every day of my life. But you know what? I'm not going out of my way to find it. And God forbid I attract something that feels different, that feels real, that feels authentic, and it still ends up in the same fucking result.
So that's the world.
I got this.
Hold on. You've been getting a lot of it, big man. Hold up here, big boy. So
you're not going anywhere.
So all I'm saying, now this is something I'm super passionate about, because this is what happened after I was divorced, right? And like I was with her young, and like what he said about how you get girls, all that stuff, like, yes. But then you see a world of people going on like dating apps and, commenting, DMing, and what do? Let's get coffee, let's get dinner, and you show up trying to be this perfect person for them to like you.
By the way, I've never been
Me
on
neither.
One,
Me neither. So they show up as this perfect person.
I mean, I've been on there.
But what's the point of that date, right? To be perfect for them to like you, when the world should be just with friends. Like, I would much rather have people, like a girl that let's say I'm interested in, come over to my house while 6 of my friends are over, all saying the worst shit about me. Like, and we're just talking shit. Like, see me in my element. Don't go into a different element or an environment where you're trying to be perfect. And too many people are trying to be perfect.
And that's where everything fails, because now you're setting expectation. I'll put an example. There was this girl I talked to. The expectation that from day one was, hey, I took you to Tocamadeiro and we had $1,000 dinner. I don't think it was $1,000. It was like I think it was like $500-$600, right? So then that expectation's here, and I didn't know this about this girl, but she likes extravagant shit. And then the moment things weren't extravagant 24/7, there's a distance. And then what happened? This dude came that had hella money, took her here, flew her there, all around the world.
And your love meant shit.
Yep. And it sucks, because it's like, like you said, we try to show up perfect every single time, and But what truly is perfect if perfect doesn't exist?
That's why it doesn't work.
I have to add on to
That's
this.
why
I
you have to
add on
be
this.
in a neutral, like calm environment where you can be yourself to truly, I fuck with this person, or I like this person, I love this person, right? Like, it's when you're trying to be perfect, you can't even find something that works for you because it doesn't.
I have to add on to this.
It's all,
I
floor is
have to
yours,
add
baby.
on to this.
Go.
Because exactly what you're saying. First, I want to add on by saying I did post about this. I did make a post about this, and I was talking about how authenticity is so important no matter where you are, who you're getting to know, but especially in relationships, because it really is life's natural filter. Because when you show up authentically as yourself from the get-go and you're not afraid of expressing who you really are in all cases, you know, you're not afraid of telling them how you feel when you start to feel it. You're not afraid of saying this to them. You know, when you put that behind you and you just authentically show up as you, regardless of if it is a little terrifying or not, you know, you just let it out the gate.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
If they don't stick around, thank God.
Yeah.
Because
it's
those
on
are
them.
the right people for you. So authenticity essentially is how we actually find real connections, right? But let me also add on by
I like
saying,
this guy.
this guy, whatever you're gonna thought, you're like.
Well, authenticity, you know, like, so.
No, many times I try to have this conversation and explanation to like one of my friends, not all of them, but some of them that are men, and they just don't get it. Like the fact that you are speaking this before you hear me say it.
No, dude,
is like
it
blows my mind. Like I have a lot of friends that are girls because I can, like, the ones that I choose. One, I'm not just friends with women because I'm trying to sleep with them.
Yeah.
Like they like
it's the opposite for me, dude.
they trust.
We talked about this.
Yeah,
like,
they like trust me. Like I'm not like. I've been with friends and they're like, oh, this guy wants me to go over, but I know if I go over, I'm gonna have, you know, he's gonna want to try this. Like, there's no expert. Like, you just come kick it at Gage's house, right? Yeah. And so that's like,
and that's the crazy thing because you know, and I hate. I'm sorry, but I hate how dumb women act on the idea of like when it's like that.
Yeah,
it's a true friendship, and they act dumb, capitalized dumb.
Like they like.
Oh no, he doesn't want to fuck. You know, he doesn't want. He's not that. We're just friends. You act dumb, and it's
because it's so obvious when it's different.
It's obvious when it's different.
It's you can feel it, everything. I can speak as a woman. I have been in so many of those situations. This is part of why I've been more isolated as of late because. Let's just say it how it is. You know, you have a couple glow-ups and you realize, oh, I've been friends with dudes my whole life. It's been the best experience. I couldn't be more grateful for that growing up with only brothers and throughout high school. And then as I got into my 20s, I've always had dude friends. It's always been a thing. I struggled with female relationships my entire life. I still do in a weird way. It's hard. It's just hard. I love my own kind.
You found balance between the masculine and the feminine, I would say.
Absolutely.
Where a lot of women live in the feminine. And a lot of men live in the masculine too, but in your perspective,
versions of it, and it's not one or the other. And I want everybody to fucking understand this one. Yeah. Is that until you find a balance between your masculine energy and your feminine energy, you really aren't as powerful in that energy as you think you are, because you're not an embodied version of it. Yep. An embodiment for men and women is finding the center between both your masculine and your feminine. That's a hard thing to do. And I lived...
So exactly what I just said.
That's for both men and women. Because men, we do have a feminine side or softer side.
Yeah.
You know, when we can be, you know, that patient and understanding and be, you know,
but it's also
emotional.
your intuitive side, your emotions, yes.
And, you know, and then where we have to be masculine. But then it's like, what makes it difficult here is where we have a female trying to fight the masculine side with her masculinity. And is thinking that's going to match or fix whatever, you know, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but that's not the case. Like, you have to drop this for things to work the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you said authentic self, we don't, you know, we have this frame of being, trying to be our authentic self. You said, what'd you say? You said when you're going out there and people being their authentic self, right? Mm-hmm. But this goes back to is that authentic self really who they are when they're meeting you, or is it the character that they portray that's also on social media?
Dude, this is why it's so important.
Because this is, it's gonna bite me. It's gonna bite me. And I'm gonna use what you said is our perception of the reality that we're creating in front of us ourselves, like in front of that person. Because we're gonna create this reality. This person saying this to me. This is their authentic self. They're being real with me. And this is what it's gonna create, right? So then they have this character, and it's the same thing that we do on social media. We have a character. We have this persona of who we are. So are they truly that person to you, or is it the reality that we created for this person to be the person that we're creating? Because in a sense, it's like you say this, you're not chasing, but in a way, you're still chasing. Because even when we say we're not, we're wanting this to be that. We want finally. Tina came
desire,
and
right?
Tina came and she's saying the right things. This is it.
Well, this is where there's such a fine line, dude. And I've noticed this in my recent life is that, again, back to attachment. Attachment is an important part of life. There's nothing wrong with attachment. There's something wrong with unhealthy attachment.
Yes.
And there's something wrong with, I think, being attached to an ideal outcome. So there's a level of detachment involved when it comes to having healthy attachment. But finding the balance, that's a whole other story for a whole other time. But exactly what you're saying, it's like, to an extent, I don't think there is something wrong with, I don't want to say the chase, but it's like we have desire as human beings. That's not a bad thing. But it requires alignment to find the right version of what you are choosing or chasing, right? It's like you shouldn't have to chase it necessarily, but if there's somebody that you're choosing and you'd want that person to equally choose you, there's always, not always, but in my experience, more frequently than not, there's a very frequent repeating story there, which is as soon as I want you the same way you're showing up and wanting me, where do you go?
Do you believe
this is
so it's like you can feel
you go. If I sat and talked here, it would take another hour.
Do you believe that you are matching what he's giving, or you're overmatching? And what I mean by that,
in the beginning, middle, you're saying in the beginning.
Correct.
Okay.
Beginning, we're here, right?
Yep. And you're saying you finally give it to them. Is that what you're saying?
Let me tell you what I'm saying. I'll give you a great example. Somebody comes in. They've been in the pursuit of you for a decent amount of time. Okay. You're not even attracted to them. You don't pay attention to them. And then you start getting to know them. You realize there's an emotional connection there. There's something strong, something maybe different, something you've never experienced before.
Yeah.
And that starts opening you up. Maybe you're a little bit on the sapiosexual side. You're a little bit more, intrigued by somebody's ability to meet you emotionally. I haven't experienced much of that. So you become...
That's what I'm looking for now for the rest of my life.
You're enticed by that, right? That's so important, especially when it's something that you do desire moving forward and out of accepting the bare minimum your whole life. So you come across this type of person, and then you start getting to know them. You're giving you're giving yourself a chance there because they're in pursuit. It's there for you. Mm-hmm. It is fully showing up for you.
They're obviously, they want you.
They're ready to put a ring on it.
Okay. And
so you give that a chance. You open up to the possibilities, and they continue getting to know you. You continue getting to know them. It's emotionally solid. There's a solid connection. And now you're as interested as they are in you. You're matching that equally, not more. I've been anxiously attached, and I learned a beautiful art of being able to withhold from oversharing and overdoing and overloving. I know how to keep my distance in my space, and I'm good at it. I'm damn good at it, dude. It's a problem. like maybe I should step in a little bit. Maybe I should say some shit, but I'm not like that because that's the balance for me. That's not my job, So I show up the same way.
Would you say you showed up too early on this, or it was just around?
What is early when they're already there? What is early when they're already there?
I don't even think
And
what she's explaining is exactly why the coffee date theory that I said, it's you meet somebody and you get to know them, learn them. She was in that headspace of doing that. That's why I'd rather, like, you know, everyone, it's terrible. I'd rather, like, date someone who's a friend instead of a girl who's pretty that I've never known, because I don't fucking know you.
Did you know of him?
But these guys guys are like in pursuit, don't really know her, right?
Go ahead. Sorry.
So their whole goal is to get her, and she's learning them, gets to that point, but once they get her, like you said earlier,
yeah,
it's done.
If I digest this, what we just said, have you known who this person was? Like, now I'm not saying like you knew who he is,
like beforehand.
Yeah.
No.
So you never like watch his stuff or anything, like you follow.
Not really.
Okay. Really. So
there are multiple times this has happened. This isn't just one time. So it's like interesting to me. It's like
what I can break down to this is you had no interest. So this guy to you wasn't attractive. He probably at some point found that out. The moment you switched, came into him and gave him the opportunity, now it's the chase of let me finish this off. And then
I follow, but I don't agree.
Because it's like, if I'm giving you so much attention, and I'm assuming this guy was doing it for months at a given time, and you were going, no, right?
Didn't care.
And then you finally switch to yes.
Yeah, and then I'm showing up fully because that's what I do.
But I've had so many no's that now it's like, now I just want to know what I'm going to get out of this.
But what if I tell you that it really did evolve into something like so emotionally intimate?
Well,
like,
it can.
So what if that happens and then
it could, but they're
just
but they're always going to have this in the back of their
head. It comes down to intention, and then it comes down to the way they view themselves. Like I don't want to speak bad on the women I've been with, but
they feel inadequate. Is that what it is?
So here's the thing, right? So I
Damn,
was with somebody for quite some time, and they just everything was they were just down on themselves all the time. No matter what I did, no matter how I supported, it wasn't like they wouldn't see it, and I would listen to ways to like how I could try to support them, not to the ways I just saw it, and. You know, it's like I'm not good, right? But then the second it's validated from an outside source, or like in this situation, the second you validate that this guy's attractive, oh, game on, I'm gonna go see what else I can get, instead of appreciating what has been built in the circle.
Yeah, because they're in the back of their head. And, you know, again, this is from experience.
Ladies.
Like, oh, he gassed me up. I can go do whatever I want. I can get whatever I want now. Shit.
You know, in the back of the head is like, man, I was chasing, and I got all these no's. So I got all these no's lined up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get to this anymore. And maybe I can just throw a little bone here and there because I still find interest in you. But the moment you validated me with the yes that this is about to go down, it's like, damn.
Can you do that again? Game. Like,
I got validated.
Yeah,
okay. It's about to go down.
It's about to go down. Like, it's like, damn, I have every shot to get what I wanted. And then, you know what? Yeah, it could create that intimacy, that whole everything. But then we created this version of you with all those no's of what you were here. And once you validated, you came to here.
What the actual
fuck? And it's crazy.
Dude.
I know. And it's fucked to think that way.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know if I disagree or don't understand. So
because like let's say this girl, right? Imaginary girl here.
Okay.
For months you've been chasing this girl, and you get no. But any other girl you talk to, she gives you a yes.
Okay. Well, I don't do that, but if I were to, yes. Okay.
So now you know that it's
not all men are the same.
So you know it's not you. You know,
I've had a lot of therapy, and
we like that.
So you're sitting here like, it's not me. I can get whatever girl I want. It's just this one girl that I can't get. So then the moment this girl says yes, you're like, fuck. Okay.
Well, if that's the game you're playing, is
correct.
Am I attractive for every girl to get instead of am I attractive for just the one that ends up?
But that's what makes an empty man feel validated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Word for word. You know, when the guy is empty because he can get validation from every other single woman, and there's this one girl that keeps saying no. The moment that girl says no, yeah, he's gonna stop over
That's
here.
like the one thing that's gonna tear him apart, huh?
But it's the one thing that he knows is gonna break.
So
him.
I'm a powerful fucking bitch.
Yeah.
That's what
Well,
I am.
I mean,
Like
that's like even like
I'll put it this way. I'll put it this. I'll use my one of my past relationships.
yeah, we're using it as like you're just meeting someone. Like maybe use it in an instance where there is the relationship.
Great, right? But then obviously we had our issues during our relationship, blah 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 blah, and then there's validations coming in on her end from these guys, and there's validations on my end coming from these girls that maybe it's not being perceived in the relationship. Mm-hmm. So then when we're seeing each other, we're holding, even though we're not saying it. Well, fuck, you know, I got Jessica, Jim, and Brittany, and Taylor, and all this shit. And then, and why won't she do this shit, you know? And then you got Tommy and Kyle and Bobby saying all this shit, but why would he do it? And then that's the same thing when a man is single and has no emotional regulation, doesn't know who they are internally, that when they're getting validation from all these women and this one says no, they're hunting the no.
Let me ask you something. Do you think it's just women that'll give them that validation, or are there other avenues in life that can provide that
Well,
same?
usually when it comes down to men, like growing up, like how do I put this? Like there's programming to the world that we all grow up with, and we program or we program, and then you decode to like what actually is life. Yeah. So you grow up watching TV, guys with hot girls, like, so that's like a goal. Oh, I'm gonna have a hot girl one day. You know, I want.
Sure, you know,
yeah,
every girl.
Yeah, ready.
Oh, who am I taking home tonight?
So like that.
Am I kind of ugly?
You're not ugly.
No, I think what it is, you might be too pretty for people to try.
The thing is, you know, there is also, and not that is bad, there's a sense of intimidation you do give out as well. You know, like
Fair.
you.
But it's not your fault.
But it's not your fault. It's the fact that you know who you are and how you can be in within that person, like to that person, but they're so intimidated because they don't know how to give that to you to 100%. They can talk to you about it. They can be like, hey, yeah.
Because they're good listeners.
Because they can listen to everything you're saying and like you said, mirror it back. But when his time do come to where it's like, hey, I have to do this, and they don't know how to do it, they're gonna peace out. I wish I can do the whole like.
No, it's cool because these are all things I think I've thought about these things. But
how about this? We are not the hosts of the Open Dome podcast. This is the Open Dating podcast. Sela, please, what advice would you like? How can we help you?
Yeah,
I love this. Big brothers. I love this.
Like,
see, I have little brothers, so I was always the big brother for them.
See, and what's cool, I love doing this shit, regardless of, like, the relationship with the woman. Not this
what?
shit. With the woman. Like, I've called you probably, like, baby girl twice, baby 3 times,
Yeah,
and, like, I say mama, like, but, like,
That's not weird.
that's how I talk.
You call me baby too, but.
Okay.
Hey, baby boy, won't you toot that ass up? Anyways, that's just, but it's being comfortable, right? And it's the delivery and also having the relationship. Like, you know,
well, if it weren't for my, strength and dominating confidence to be able to put you in the friend zone, that probably wouldn't be the same dynamic.
Yeah, well,
the thing is, friend zone don't really exist.
Yeah.
You create
all right, shut up. Go.
It's intention. Like
intention.
That. I like
It's
that.
intention.
I like that.
It's
That's
intention.
beautiful.
A friend zone
yeah,
is not a thing. It's an intention, right? Like, I'm gonna put her name out there. Maybe she'll pick it up. But my friend Taylor, right? She was in not the healthiest relationship, right? And then I don't want to forget the word, but we create this need of toxic that makes us feel like this chaos. Like we what's the word for it? And I had it, the other day, because I was talking to her about it. But we once we're in this toxic environment, right? And we've been for it for so long.
it's normalized.
It's normalized. Thank you. And when we remove ourselves and something good comes in, and this is where I was struggling, we start self-sabotaging that relationship. Not because we're doing it on purpose, but because it's not giving that high. Like you're not.
1000%.
You're here like.
Most people live in fight or flight instead of in
Yes,
neutrality,
I've been there.
like you do.
So
But that's
the
what's normal to
moment
them.
that this guy comes into your life and puts you in your full feminine mode, you're gonna fight it. and you're gonna see it because I've seen this. Like I've done it myself. Like I was in this thought where you're like, this isn't like it's good, but you're like, why? Like,
No, this
you're
is
sitting
real
there, why?
talk. I remember in this situation, I had a mental breakdown. The first night, I realized this is a healthy person.
Yeah.
Fun fact: the results were still the same as all the other bullshit. So that's what I'm like. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's
It's
odd
a balance.
To me.
It's
That's
a balance
so
of
odd
it.
to me.
Like
It's
like look, I'm
Right,
wearing a cropped
what?
shirt
I'm
with a
gonna-
shirt
I'm
over,
gonna sit
right?
on
Like
here.
this isn't the most masculine outfit.
I'm gonna sit on here,
But
and
my
if you guys post
mentality
this before I say it to
in
her
the
face,
way-
and you're like,
What? Go for it. Go
like
for
I
it.
love my girl. Like she's great.
Yes.
Like and I haven't said this to her face yet. But
You haven't said I love you to her face? Damn, we have a watch party? Watch party.
Anyway, but this is why, and it's because I've always been in flight or fight mode. Like, and whenever I let somebody in, the moment is like it wasn't like going this route or something like that.
Now, how do we know you're not saying everything on this podcast just to bring your girlfriend in more, to make you think you
Because
look
I
good?
let her read my journal.
Oh shit!
I was like, here, go for it.
Good
Read it.
man.
Okay.
See, I write music. I journals
and
too
I was
much.
very honest. Like I said earlier, like I've been my authentic, true self around her without any fear of judgment,
that's such a good feeling, dude.
and being able to be me. I can honestly say I haven't been me in over 15, 16 years. And even the last 4 years where I was healing, and then with the person I was at the time I was seeing when I was healing, in between that breakup and now, like I was healing, but she was also healing. So then we were great, but then there was like there's that fight or flight mode because there wasn't like that. We still had a survival instinct that was craved. And then when somebody comes in and you don't have to feel that no more, like you're like, damn. Like,
It helps your nervous system fully relax.
yeah, like
That's a
I'm
beautiful-
it's so calm because like for me, like I had to go to the gym just to like be neutral. Like if I didn't go to the gym, I'm pissed off the rest of the day. Like I knew that was my high, that was my cigarette, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So that when that's not it anymore, like I'm still going to the gym, but it was like
I know what you mean. I
when
do.
that you don't need to escape to that anymore. You're you, and when you're you because now it's like I can be the little soft teddy bear. I don't have to be the big papa.
You'll be unapologetically you, dorky, funny, corny, hard, soft.
Yeah, and I talk
dumb,
we talk
smart,
shit,
like-
bro. Like we talk shit. I'll be talking shit all the time.
Yeah, you
And-
don't have to filter what it is that's coming out of your mouth.
And there's
That's
times where like I catch
still
myself,
looking
I'm
for
like,
it.
I'm overly open because I'm a very open person.
Mm-hmm.
But when that person comes into your life, you'll realize it, and then you sit there and you're like, damn, like that's why all these other things weren't working.
I'm not going to get too deep into it. Hear me out, right? Like that
Well,
happened.
Okay.
That happened. That came around. That gave me the mental breakdown because I realized it was healthy, and then I sat with that so that I wouldn't self-sabotage it. And I dove into it equally. And that shit went silent.
Maybe it's them, Maybe they.
Well, I'm not
they-
saying it was
like-
me, but
like-
I'm like, where
I-
does
like,
this
I think
stem
we
from?
need
Like,
more-
What is it?
I think I know this is the fact. No, I don't know. But it's like the fact is maybe yes, you guys were in this state, but then there was one thing that was missing in him to be able to give you 100%.
Yeah.
So he was able to give you maybe the 90, the 95, but those last 5 that was missing for him to be like, hey, just didn't exist. And it's something that when that doesn't exist, and again,
Nothing can give that to them. They have to find it.
Let's talk about it, like if it's not a game, right? And they're not trying to get
If
a
it's not a
no
game,
to a yes,
please.
right?
Please.
Like,
What are
they
the
finally
irrational fears? What are
have
the-
you. I don't even think it's a fear. I think it's just a natural human instinct to stop putting in effort where you think you're already the best or you have.
Yeah.
So like the smartest person in the room is always the dumbest person in the room because I think they know everything. So he has you. Oh, I don't have to do all this stuff now because she's coming over. We get to eat, do this, that, and the other. I don't have to do these things because I have her. No, that's what I said, like fake it till you make it, like the happiness thing, but it's also every single day you have to be that person to show that person you love them that way. You know, not flowers but like.
Well, it makes me think too. Like there is a level of responsibility to a relationship.
Yeah,
right?
people get lazy. They get lazy with other people's hearts and emotions.
So, what is one thing you could tell the audience today if they were experiencing something like this?
Communicate.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Truly communicate. You know, and it's not
without fear of what the other's going to say. And this is okay. So if you're in our positions where we're self-aware, right?
Hold on. I got this. Ghost, right? You want Ghost?
Huh?
One Ghost?
Ghost.
Right? The guy won Ghost, right?
Oh, Loki, yeah.
Yeah. This girl won Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah? This is a true story.
Okay.
Went Ghost.
Same.
You know why? I thought everything was going well. Very smooth, picked up. And, later on, obviously, like, I move on. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to reach out because I knew that her going Ghost, something was happening.
That's her thing. You got to live
and
your
I
own
knew
life.
it. And then before, I would be very pushy on it. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be pushy this time. I'm going to just let it go Ghost. And, I found out why later on. But at this point, the why was so late.
It didn't matter.
That what can I do about it? If it wasn't spoken about at the time.
And you probably didn't care anymore.
And it's not that I didn't care. Like I
you cared, but it didn't it didn't break your heart. Essentially,
yeah,
right?
Essentially, I couldn't go back 5-6 months and be like, well, fuck, so. That's probably what it I would think is that something happened, and I'm not saying you did or did not, but there was no more communication done. It was done. So then nothing, whatever that was that started the Ghost and let the Ghost go on, I just let it on.
I also think it's commitment. Like, if he also doesn't have the balls, or anybody in a relationship doesn't have, the grit to,
Guys, it might be because my balls are bigger than most men.
But just to communicate with someone like, hey, I don't think this is working out so well. So they either stay with you and do shit behind your back because they don't want to leave. They want their cake and to eat it too. Yeah. Or they don't have the balls to say anything still, but they go.
Facts.
And there's other options. And, and people run into that situation because, again, they date too soon. They date before they actually know who people are.
Or who they are.
Yeah, who they are and who the other person is.
Well, and let me add on, dude, back to what you were saying, there are so many people out there that are doing that shit, that are afraid to get into a relationship because they're like, I need to find myself before I get into a relationship. And then they end up experimenting with people as if people are options, which we are not options. That's not it.
Look, you heal with people.
But
you don't take advantage of the people that are you healing with.
Thing. It's we heal through relationships.
Yes.
But we also can heal through relationships. When I experienced for the first time what it felt like to have my nervous system fully relax, I felt like that was healing a part of me.
Good.
And in the same situation, that same person, or the sheer opposite effect, which is oh my God, I'm feeling that again. It's the craziest. It's so odd.
But that's what's so. It sucks. I'm gonna make this positive, but that's why it's so beautiful, because it's yeah, you know what? You finally got to a point where you were just full feminine. You're soft. You're yourself.
That's when you learn who a person truly is.
You're damn, this is who I can be when that person shows up in my life like this. But now signs that. When it's not going this route, right, is the moment that we have to be adults because nobody wants to be adults anymore.
So
is sit down.
Oh, I'm so stoked.
And
go ahead.
Have these communications of hey, you know what? This started resonating with me recently, and this is why, how I'm feeling. What's your take on this? And then that's when you're able to either communicate and work through it, or you just end. And then that avoids going Ghost. Because let's say, we sat and talked. Could have been fixed. Or then we were just gone separate ways. And that's the thing that people fear. It's, sitting down and being told these certain things. And when people were like questioning you, like, and I had this issue in my past, and I suck. I'm trying to be better at it, but like when I get sat and I'm being questioned about certain things, and it's like, and I'm like I get like I shut
Feels
down.
like an interrogation.
Yeah, but it's also not like it could come from somebody, the first people that always was at you, like they didn't approach it correctly.
Correct. And to me, that like when I'm approached that way, like I feel like I'm being interrogated. Like it brings triggers from my past that I know I'm aware of.
Yeah. But exactly what you're saying, like I've caught that so early on to where like I'm never gonna be that. Well, I never wanted to be that burden of a person, which is why I'm so good at giving space and like whatever you need. Like honestly, I can handle my own. So I'm not gonna be the person.
Here's basically what it comes down to is like awareness of self. And accountability of the fact. Like you said, it was the complete flip, right? Yeah. I have such a great gift of gab. Let's just say 100 of 100. I got it. I have it. Boom. I can make everybody my friend. But I could also use that power to make it the worst thing in the world, which is be a manipulator. So what is my intention? Like that is what you have to control. You could be... Like, you could be the strongest dude. I'm just saying it because you're buff, and I wish I was. But, like, you're just so big. You can go lift weights and lift kids from under cars, or you can go steal fucking safes, right? It's just, like, as strong as you are, or as good as something is, or as much as you are something up top, it's the exact flip coin at the bottom. And it's like, the bigger you are, the harder you fall.
Yeah. So, I could be a piece of shit.
So, but again... You can be, absolutely, because you are.
Because you are.
No, let me finish. You are like who you are. Let's say we see you here, this great. You can be this piece of shit here. 100%. But the awareness and the accountability of when you hit here to get yourself back up is what matters.
And that's what most guys don't have. They have this 100% of like, damn, I can give here. And when it's like, it's just a heavy flip.
Yikes.
And it's not a balance. And that's the hardest part that a lot of men suck up, learning.
Step it up, dudes.
I'll tell you.
Step it up.
Finding that balance where it's like, okay, let me step back and let me figure out exactly how I can approach this a better way. Versus like, you know what? Shut down.
Yeah. When men...
I do experience a lot of men that shut
When men have had to live for something else greater than themselves, whether that's a wife, ex-wife, children, family members, right? Like if they raised like their siblings, like that's when you kind of get it. If you're just floating through life, like living for yourself the whole time, how can you give a fuck about the person you claim to love? Right? So like in my instance, I was married for a long time. Like I understand like, how do I put this? I was not living for myself anymore, and I'm not at all because I have my little girl. Like I understand the concept of living for others, and like again showing up, but still as me. It's not fake.
Yeah. And
actually caring what the other person in that moment, like how they feel, what goes on. Because if you don't, it's like going ghost. It's like, well, this was great, but and then they don't think about you a second a day in their life. Some people can learn that without having to go through the traumas or the divorce or having a kid, right? But it's just not common.
But you know what I think that leads to is somebody who's like almost whole. Somebody who really has done the work. I feel like I could name like 3 people, which I'm not going to, but I could name like 3 people off the top of my head that I've met that really do embody what I would assume wholeness in a man looks like. However, what
do you think wholeness in a man is?
No, I mean, okay.
Maybe.
Hold on.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hold on, because I'm going to need another bathroom break.
I've had to pee for an hour, and I've been holding it because we've been going.
Let me say this, and then we'll take a quick break. But
notice how I don't stop.
Is that bigger bladders?
I was in it to win it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I wanted to say something, but I couldn't.
I got one. So the best one.
Okay.
I was giving advice, relationship advice, from, someone I trusted, was very spiritual, had a whole page about, religion, scripture and all this stuff. Married man. And I'm like, this dude's married. He's been with them for a minute, holy man. Mm-hmm. Give me advice. I believe this advice. So then I find out information, this person is not faithful. Is not this holy man.
What did we just talk about?
So we have this.
Oh, this gives me so much.
We have this persona that we give out because we want everybody else to see.
And it's a rule book essentially. They're following a book of whatever the book is they've made in their brain. They've followed that book. Yeah. And if they can act like that book, then it works. It works. It doesn't matter if they're acting outside of it. Nobody knows, right?
Yeah.
So add on to that because, and let me ask you, you consider yourself a man of God. Yeah. Okay. So how would you add on to that as somebody who walks that walk, walks that talk?
So my view, my path with God is between me and him.
Absolutely.
So the people, again, is not.
I feel the same way for myself as well. So
her and I just talked about this, and you're saying.
I'm just curious.
Right down.
Feel free to share what you are comfortable with.
I don't have to go to church.
Yes.
I don't have to read the Bible every single day.
Yes.
I don't have to preach heavy to everybody for me to be on the path that I am with God or be a holy man or whatever. And what I mean by a holy man, I read the scripture, I read the word of God. But do I sin? Yes. Am I perfect in every way? No. And even in the Bible, there's no such thing as perfect. Because there were errors in the Bible as well that he has said. And I posted yesterday. It was Matthew 11:28-30, and it's that we carry all these burdens. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, guys, but it is what it is. We carry all these burdens, all these things, all this through life. Where we have to be a man.
Yep.
We have to, whatever, our dog dies, it doesn't matter, I have to be a man. My relationship just broke, I have to be a man and move through this. I lost my job, I have to be a man and move through this. And it gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And we don't know when to be a son. And as he is the father, right? We have to learn to trust our father, that he will carry that burden as well for us. And, like I said, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect in any way. But I trust in him to help me through those moments, to get me through the next thing, and that verse is, fly like an eagle. It's like I can't quote it because I suck at quoting verses.
I'm the same way. Like I've been back in the church for quite some time now. Like I wear my cross. Like I couldn't even tell you anything besides John 3:16, right? But like I've read the Bible, I do it, but my relationship with God, my higher power, has nothing to do with the church and the community and the formula that they follow. Right. Even down to, like, I used to not pray with friends or around people because I couldn't say it how they did. Yeah, until one day, someone said, just talk to him like he's your dad. Yeah. So literally, like, when I'm brushing my teeth, I'll just, in my head, I'll be like, "Sup, God? Hope you had, what'd you do today? You're never going to believe this."
It's crazy that you say that.
I love that it's the brushing the teeth. I was like, same, low-key, like, same when I'm brushing my teeth. You say that because, I started praying, like, practicing my prayer a lot more, and I sucked at praying, and, I wasn't the best.
Sucked compared to, like, what you thought was the right way. It doesn't, but
it... God, and it's like, it's just being able to just be you and talk to him. Yeah. I'm like, I'll be like,
same way we're talking.
Like, that's all he wants.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Father, it was another day. We're just gonna do.
What's that?
And it's crazy because I never realized the power of prayer, and not till recently, and I've never understood this until you truly, like I said, God, as guys, we don't sit with ourselves, but you truly sit with yourself and let yourself be open and emotional. And the last 2 times I prayed, I've cried. Not crying like, bawling, but like tears just start coming out because what you're saying is true. It's authentic.
And it's probably been locked up right here for so long, and it's finally...
And, and what bothers me, and, people,
I like this guy.
People can have their perception of, how they are with God and whatever their relationship is. And it doesn't upset me where, like, hey, I'm angry at you or I hate you. It's more so, like, I want to pray for you in the sense of, like, people use scripture in church as a picture.
As a mask.
To hide to the people that they're trying to impress. And it's very unfortunate because it's like if they actually did the work, how much better their life would be.
Let me...
And hold on, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's like the best example, and we live in Vegas, so I'm gonna do the Vegas example. Is and my pastor said this at one point. I probably won't say it as good as him. Shout out to Javi Miller. But it's the Vegas churchgoer part. Monday is Monday. We go to work. Tuesday went. Thursday, Friday party. Got drunk. Went to strip club. Saturday, hungover, lit. Did whatever. Sunday go to church. Sin. Hey, forgive my sins, and then do it all over again.
So many people. Yep.
Do it all over again, and then they ask and pray for these certain things in life, but then they repeat. It's a repeated cycle of doing all these things that are not in help towards them, but use church as a cover because they want it to work for them, but it's not going to work for them because they can't give themselves fully to God.
So it's like the seeking external reassurance because you lack the accountability with yourself.
Yeah,
right.
And it's even in dating that you use the same thing with dating.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like it's the same mindset. Like,
well, I posted
if you're following, like, if you're reading the Bible and you read it and you can recite them and you know everything, but you memorized and know how to and can speak to it, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're not living like that. Mm-hmm. You're not going to see any commonalities. You're not like there's going to be no synchronicities. I like to say, like, when you're stressed or anxious and you're just sitting back freaking out, that's telling God, I got this. Like instead of moving forward in faith to see what he's planted in front of you.
Like Monday, you're at Marquee. Tuesday, you're at Omnia. Wednesday night, you're at Excess. Thursday, you're at Omnia Day Club. Friday nights and daytime, you're at Live Day Club and Nightclub. Saturday, you're at Tao Beach. And then Sunday, you go to church and you're like, hey, I'm sorry I did all this.
And then they hit the Durango pool after.
And then they go to Durango pool after and do it all over again.
This is, I know so many people like this. And I have distanced myself from them intentionally because I can't stand that.
Yeah.
Not because I don't love them,
correct.
But because I love them so much and I'm watching them throw their potential down the drain in a weird way.
But that's
not out of spite, not out of hate.
That's their validation. Their validation, their acceptance of the, hey, I'm okay in life is because I can post this. Now, I went to church on Sunday. Yeah. Hey guys, here's my selfie.
Well, so I did make a video about this maybe not even a month ago. Just talking about the importance of like, hey, like I have a relationship with God. And it's deeply personal, and that's why I don't feel the need to share it or talk about it, right? But equally, there's an aspect to understanding yourself that is so essential to having a good relationship with God, because without it, I think that's exactly what you're saying. You don't take accountability for yourself because you lack the awareness to do so, right? And it starts with awareness. I think it really does, and that's a practice in itself, until you see parts of yourself or accept those parts of yourself, acknowledge those parts of yourself. Like, what, dude?
The thing is, what you're saying is that they haven't dropped their ego for God. That's all it is. Yeah. Their ego's up here, and they're trying to be at par with him or higher. They think they're higher than God. And they haven't dropped themselves low enough to let him lead and put you on this path and this journey to be who you're supposed to be in his eye, because we see this is what we want. This is what we see. But what he has is so much beautiful what we're seeing. Mm-hmm. And we're afraid. We fear faith. We fear of the unknown, because having faith is not knowing. You don't know. Faith is you don't know.
Yep.
You don't get to know. But you have this belief that, you know what? In faith and trust in God and letting him lead, I'm going to get to where he wants me to be, and that's where I need to be.
And it's usually better than what you wanted.
Exactly.
Right?
And people are afraid. They're afraid to let go. And that's why they get stuck in that reality of the repeated cycle of doing everything they want to do and then forgive and forget, whatever.
Well, and that's like everyone thinks ego is a negative thing.
I was literally just thinking
Ego is not negative.
It's a positive tool, actually.
So the ego is what protects your insides as a person. Now, if whatever they build themselves, like, ego more often than not is negative. Mm-hmm. But it's because people aren't vulnerable. Yeah. You know, like when you're in a fight or flight mode, what kicks in? Ego.
And, I would not be able to do this
and that's
shit right now without
that's what
ego.
saves you for, okay, I'm gone, I'm out, and then you feel safe. Or you can do, like, your ego can have you sit down, be calm, listen. So it's not necessarily like too much ego. It's just the wrong kind.
Correct. And that's what I was trying. You put it in the correct way.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite topics in a book that changed my life.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like, like all these people that I see that speak, and I'm the biggest fly on the wall. I know so much shit I shouldn't know. Like, it's like, the shit I know. I got blackmail. I'm just kidding. But it's one of those things where it's just like, if you truly want to be this person, right, and you want to be great with him, and be that person that he wants you to be, not the person that social media and the people that follow you want to be, because that doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, when we're our spirit and our soul, our body is 1,000, your 200 likes, your 2 million followers aren't going to matter shit.
And honestly, probably in the next 30 to 50 years, when we're old as shit and we're wrinkled, we're not going to care about it either.
Yeah. It may not even exist. There's going to be a new way.
True that.
New fucking
True fucking that.
So, why not make a stronger relationship with God and let him lead, and then be that person that he wants to be? I think one of the biggest things that really moved me was I went to a different church. I went to a church with this girl, and then I had mutual friends there. And then after the service, we were sitting there, we were talking, and this lady doesn't know me, doesn't know who the heck I am, and is talking to my friend, and then she comes up to me, she's like, "Who are you?" She's like, I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Oh, my name is Alex, and I'm Cuban." She's like, No. Who are you? Because what you're giving, and it touched me like to this day. I still think about it. She's like, who you are needs to stop being in the back of the line and come be a front line with God. And I didn't get it. I wasn't getting it. Because you need you're a frontline warrior. You're this person. And she spoke so like how I am, because I tend to speak a lot, and sometimes I cut myself off, and I put myself in the back because it's like nobody wants to listen. Like I was like, I like to
get
share.
that all too
your
well.
voice is very
really
loud, but there's a lot more quieter voices that make us diminish.
Yeah,
because
and she just was like, stop being in the back, come to the front.
Yeah, she reached you with that resonance, dude.
And when that happened, I got so deep into my journey, and I hate preaching, but when I do post, it's not because I'm trying to preach or anything. It's because something I watched or something that happened, or I just had this interaction and I post it.
You lived through it.
Yeah,
and,
it resonates. Yeah.
It's like I watched the video, like the video of the cat, and where the cat was talking back to the guy, and I was like, look at my boy Creed at home, and that made me think of Apollo, and it made me go into unconditional love, and then I put the unconditional love into a passage, and I'm like, well, let me to this page in the Bible, and I'm like, okay, how can we express that? People need to hear that, because it's like, For example, like I posted, I'm not posting to get a million reactions. And then how I use my social media, so at least, you know, inspire and move one person a day.
Yeah.
But that post got like, I don't know how many reactions to it. I know you liked it. But it was just like, you know, that's how I move in my world. Is like somebody's gonna connect. I have my demons. You guys have your demons, and I don't mind sharing that because
how you express yourself.
How I express myself.
I was just talking about that in my last podcast.
And someone is gonna somehow might not be the same story, but they can relate in a way.
Yeah,
and
point of like relatability.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I haven't heard from this girl. I feel like I should, you know, send her a message or something. But there was this person that would reach out to me on social media every time like something was going on, and I would post, and then she would resonate a lot with it. And you know, it was interesting because like I don't know this person. This person lives on the other side of the world, like complete opposite end. Doesn't know who I am. I don't know who she is. And just for mutual followers, like just followed. And then I was like, freak, like if I'm posting this and it's reaching this person and that's how much it's meaning to them, like who else is it reaching to? And that's just how I go. Like that's my journey with God, and
that's beautiful, dude.
That's it.
It's also really relatable in so many ways, you know? I think that's what's cool. It's beautiful when like I feel like I can connect to somebody else through the stories they share. I'm actually used to sharing the stories.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody else comes around like yourself and you're sharing all these little points, that's like, oh my gosh, like he gets it, or I'm living that through you, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
he doesn't even need to say exactly what you went through.
I feel like this is like a little podcast for me today.
That's
what
you guys
are helping me out.
When you
know?
left the house yesterday, 2 days ago, and like you're sitting there saying, I was like, you don't even need to explain. Like because I've lived through other things that I can relate to it, understand it. Like you don't need to explain. Like I get, like they get it.
Yeah,
you know.
And that's what I can appreciate even about having you both here right now. Is like it shows me how reciprocal this energy is.
Yeah,
and that's such a big theme in my life is like understanding where to give more, where to take away, you know, and understanding that like where we put our energy, like where your focus goes,
she likes you
flows.
3 hours and 10 minutes worth of a podcast. Like honestly, I don't know where 3 hours went.
Well, technically, this is the only time we've had 3 people.
Yeah, fair,
it's
but
like an hour per person.
My whole point is this would not have gone on this long if we weren't adding value and then also giving our own insight without fear of the other person saying no, because we think it'll add value to what they're saying, and then we all grow. Yeah. And it just, you keep bouncing. Like that's like, I don't know how we stop this at this point.
There's something cool about it. And I think maybe we'll end it there. But I do think there's something really valuable about, you know, there are different perspectives and thoughts that have crossed paths through this conversation today. But even though they were different perspectives, there was still something new to gain each time. Yeah. And that's the byproduct of having an open mind, having curiosity, and being able to explore those conversations without having a preconceived belief or bias towards it. Mm-hmm. That is the beauty there. And that all comes back to neutrality, which is a point that I honestly want to make in every single podcast and every single video, because I understand that's the basis of everything that is so important. To find that neutrality, that in between. It's not one or the other. It's not left versus right. It's not me versus you. It's not him versus her. You know, it's not this versus that. I could go on.
Me against the world, you know.
Except for that part. That one's valid, but no.
Me against the world.
Just when you think she's getting deep, Doug. She
just when you think, I'll start stroking your ego a little bit. That's just what I do.
Yeah, well, I said that because it's like, I think a lot of us go through blame, and we blame the world. Yeah. We don't blame ourselves.
I feel like each of us here has every right to be a better person right now based on our experiences.
Yeah, and I'm sure at one point we were.
There was so much that's happened. Shit, and this in a relationship aspect. There was so much that's happened for me to be the biggest douchebag possible, and be that guy in this town. Be like, Alex is this, you know? Yeah. And sure, you know, people, and there's a lot of people that do have this perspective of me, but there's people that have this perspective. It's like, and believe both.
Yeah.
Why? Because they brought something out of me that's why they got it.
Yeah.
And, you know,
it's like believe everything what everyone says about me is because like they deserved it.
That's the person they got.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I don't feel bad for it, but it's also like, you know, I'm not going to be mad at myself. And I can own up to my shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the truth. It's like if somebody said this, I'm like, hey, yeah. Like I got nothing to hide. But it's like...
That's a strength, dude. Being able to, like, see those parts of yourself and fully accept and be like, yep, that was me. Yeah. But you know what? I'm human, and I forgive myself, and I'm moving on. Yeah. And I'll try to be better every chance I get.
It's being, like...
That's a real strength.
It's practicing being, like, mentally naked.
Yeah.
Like, cause you're not putting on any clothes to hide anything.
Because the opposite of that is hiding from all that. And then, like I said, blaming the world. You know, you go, well, this didn't happen to me because this, you know, this and that, or, you know, this happened because this and that. And it's like a constant blame, and you're like, you're putting yourself this way. Mm-hmm. Versus like, well, what really led to this happening? And am I to blame? If yes, then own up to it, you know? Mm-hmm. And then that's how, like...
Yep.
Not today, maybe tomorrow.
You blame them in the morning, and then you work through it, and you get through it by the end of the day, and you grow. It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Holy shit.
I'm actually really hungry, so I think this is a good...
Oh, yeah. No, we're ordering food. I know. For sure.
I know we are.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy. The lighting
I definitely do.
When we started this podcast was sunlight, and now it's black. Like, I just want to scrub through the whole video and watch it go.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple of videos out of this one, but dudes, thank you both for being here. Alex, thank you for being here. You guys follow Alex Padron on Instagram and have TikTok. Yeah. You know, do the damn thing. Show some love. Gage, I appreciate you very much. And also, shout out to our homies with Hustle Club. I would not know these guys if it weren't for Hustle Club.
Community,
all the way. You guys are dope. Josh and Colton, you put in so much hard work and love into everything you do, and you're creating a beautiful community yourselves. So keep at it. We're here with you. We're here for you. We'll see you on this podcast soon enough.
Not to say that we're great, but, like, they brought us three people together.
100%. No, I just said
and
that.
I know, but I'm just like...
He's wording it better.
Word it better,
I'm
please.
just saying, like, us three would have never had our paths crossed if we didn't find some type of connection that resonated through them, and you know what they provided. It's a hat, right? Yeah. But no, it's not a hat. It's a lot more than that if you pay attention. Yeah.
What is my code? Alex 10.
Yeah. Oh, really? Mine. I'm Gage 15.
30% off.
Y'all can use their codes for 30% off.
No.
Gear.
Damn.
Get it?
Yeah. No. But my whole point in that is like.
I'm grateful.
Like I
wouldn't have followed you if I didn't come in today.
Like, look, I'm like a fucking like I'm about to be like this, bro. Like, hey, what we doing? Like,
shit. Wanted Jim.
I fuck with this guy. Yeah, well, you know, we're getting there.
We can't get you taller, but we can get you bigger.
Yeah, ASAP.
I mean, I get it, dude. I'm sure you compensate in every other way.
I was hoping you'd do that.
You guys, it's been so real.
Thank you and welcome to the podcast.
I've been Gage.
I'm Sela.
I'm Alex.
And we'll see you in the next episode.